Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the continuation of the DevOps free tutorial I have started 2 days back. So I will be explaining about Linux, and we are going to look around what Linux is and what would be the file structure, and also I will show you the commands, the basic commands which you're going to use in your day-to-day life. So in the previous video I covered fundamental topics that every DevOps engineer needs to know, and it's like basic understanding of DevOps and the DevOps lifecycle, and discuss difference between DevOps and traditional IT. If you are new to my channel, I highly suggest you to go back and go through the day one tutorial. So now let's go ahead with the tutorial. Today we are talking about world of Linux. If you're new to Linux or just want to understand it better, you're in the right place. Let's let's start by answering a simple question. What is Linux? Well, Linux is a operating system, a software that manages all of the hardware resources associated with your desktop or laptop. It's a lot like Windows, Mac OS, or iOS, but it's little bit different because of its stability, security, and flexibility, where you can add, modify, or remove pieces as you wish, shaping it to fit your needs. So in the Linux world, there are many different versions called distributions or distros for different type of users. Think of them as various flavors of ice cream, each unique at sharing the same basic ingredient. Some popular distros include Ubuntu, known for its user friendliness, Fedora, famous for featuring cutting edge technology, and Debian, it's renowned for its stability. So let's talk about introduction to Linux file system. Before that, okay, let me show you diagram. Yep. So this is the diagram, and let's now talk about the file system again. Yeah, these are all the file systems which we have in every Linux. The Linux file system is structured like a tree, as you can see, with branches stemming out from a single point known as root. This is the main root. This is not related to the tree outside of your window, right? But it's an organization model that helps Linux keep things neat and tidy. So the root directory is very base of the Linux file system, represented by forward slash. From the root, various other directories branch out. For instance, slash bin stores essential system commands, etc. Holds configuration files. Slash home is where user personal directories live. Here, I think it's here, right? Yeah, and it's like the blueprint of well-planned city where everything has its place. So let's talk about each and everything one by one. Slash bin, this is where the directory contains essential binary executable programs. You can call it as programs that needs to be available to all users, like ls, cp, move, rm. ls is something list out the files, cp is something like copy the files, move is mv is move, rm is remove, and so on. I'm not going to explain everything, but most of the user data, you know, users, like the slash bin is available for all of the users. So you need to understand that. Since we talk about bin, we'll talk about sbin. Sbin is slash sbin is similar to slash bin, but contains binary files that are usually run by system administrator for system maintenance purposes. Like, these are run by system administrator for system maintenance, and so on. And the next one would be slash home. This is where personal directories for users are located. For example, if you have a user named John Home's directory would be slash home slash John. In my case, this is my location. So this is my user location, home. That's what it is. And we have is slash root again. So this is the home directory for root user. So you don't confuse about this root and this. This is something which is like a user, but this is the main root of file system actually. So that's the difference between both. It's not the same as root directory. That's what you need to know. And next one would be slash etc. This directory contains system-wide configuration files. For example, etc password contains user account information, which has like most of the user details. Like we have host config, group, security, I think system log config, like config details. Most of the config details will be present. Whatever configuration we have in Linux, like fstab uh, and exports, groups, and everything. Yeah. Yeah, it has the main thing is password in this you need to remember, and the hosts, these are the two things which, and also group, we'll have all the group details here, configurations and everything. And next one would be slash. Let's talk about slash var. Okay, this directory contains variable data like system logs, mail and printers pool directories, and transient and temporary files. So that's how it is. And then we'll talk about slash user. um, this directory contains read-only data that can be shared among multiple users. It includes a variety of system resources such as binary files, libraries, documentation, and source code. So this is very important. And then slash lib, we'll talk about slash lib. The directory contains shareable libraries similar to DLLs in Windows, needed by system binaries located under slash bin and slash sbin, kind of. Yep. And slash temp. This directory used for storing temporary files created by systems and users. For example, whenever something has been booted or anything, let's say if you want to copy something from another server to this particular the present server which you where you have where you are located right now, you can place that in slash temp. You will be able to easily copy the files from other server to here under slash temp. You will not have any permission issues because slash temp is accessible by everyone. And the next one would be slash dev. The directory contains device files. uh, in Linux, hardware devices are treated as files and you can interact with them as if they are regular files. For example, we have dev slash dev. Let me go back. I think you will have something like if it is the, so if you see, yeah, so I'll go to the root directory. So if you do go to cd root, you are in the root directory which I showed you here. And if you do list out, you can see all of them which I just explained. I explained about sbin, bin, temp. Temp is where you have, and where, and user. So let's talk about the other part. Yeah, and I'm just explaining about slash dev. uh, this directory contains like device files. I example, devs sda represents the first hard drive in the system. I think I knowledge df image. Yeah. I think in different this is MacBook, so I have a different versions, but usually we'll find something like uh, dev sda, something like that's the first hard drive in the system. So this is the volumes. uh, this is the volume where I have most of the space. I think my MacBook is not partitioned, so that's why it's showing up like that. So you can ignore that. Let's go back. And the next one would be, let's talk about, um, we should have something like proc. Okay. And okay, user, and I think I explained about user, right? And the lib is like are shared resources, like such as shared library or meeting room, kind of. And dev directories I already explained. This is something like physical infrastructure of the building such as plumbing and electrical systems. um, and we should have something like um, opt. Yeah. So opt is something, whenever there is any applications or anything we want to add, we need to add it in opt. So that's the one. So that's pretty much, internally there are multiple things, but you need to only understand about these main components as I explained. um, /bin opt where user temp has been etc or also explained bin uh, yeah, dev and home. We covered everything. Others are normal directories and users. I already explained about the library as well. So let's go to each of them and I'll show you what it shows up. So let's go to opt as I told you. So right now I don't see anything here, but let's go back to my VM instance. Let's do, yeah, this is the root. So this is the I just spinned up a VM on Oracle Cloud, sorry, Google Cloud. So it's similar to that. So I think this Google Cloud will have already prerequisite setup, so it's easy for you to understand. So let's go to opt. If you see here, we have multiple other folders which are third-party applications like Gradle. Gradle is used for, if you remember in my previous video, I have explained these are the build tools, Maven and Gradle. So we can download with the location will be, these will be downloaded in here, and containerd as well. I think I have explained in the previous video about creating a Kubernetes cluster using kubedium, where we have where I have used containerd. So you can refer to that video later. But yeah, so yep, and let's go back. Let's go to each of them and I'll explain everything. And let's go to temp. So temp is where all the normal temporary files will be present. It's pretty simple, and when I started my career, I used to copy a lot of files here so that it's very easy, and I used to get a lot of permission issue, but right now I understood everything. You will be able to understand as soon as possible. I'll make sure I'll do that. So let's go back and then /etc, and this covers see if you see and there is one more thing I forgot to explain. So if you see D in the starting, that would be directory, and if you don't see anything, that would be a file. So right now it's a file. If you want to look at any file, what's inside the file without entering using vi, you can directly do cat. It will show everything related to what present in that particular environment. And there are VM edit. In Linux we have editors. I didn't explain about that. So there are popular ones are Vim and Nano. So these are the two I like. So I mostly like Vim, but so it's like if you want to access, I usually prefer using Vim, but it's up to you. But let's say if I want to do I did cat, right? So cat represents it showing up the file without like going into the file. So vi or vm is something we are trying to enter into the file, and we can change anything, something like that. If you do insert I, you can able to insert. This is a read-only file. If you want to add changes, because this is the system root files which has the passwords, it's kind of it will ask for the sudo permissions. And if you want to do anything, if you want to exit, you want to do :q. If you want to add something, wq is the like hyphen :wq is one used for saving. And if you want to exit without saving, q and quotation would be the part. So that's how it works. And yeah, let's go back, and I will create a similar file for you later, and I will show you how it works. And then let's go back to /var. I'll show you what's present in there. So this has most of the system-wide configurations. If you see, it has pool, cache, config, lib, and everything. So let's not go there because these are system configurations. And do /lib. Let's go to /lib. So if you go to /lib, this has the shared libraries. If you see, PostgreSQL, SQL local, and Linux, GNU, Python, OpenSys, PHP, Ruby. These are like systemd, modeproc, kernel environment. So these are all like shared to every users. That's how it is. So let's go back. And what I missed, slash temp, okay, slash dev. So this is where you have, as I explained, in you want to interact with them as their regular files. Actually, this represents the like first hand drive in the system. So it's like a core files, so you don't need to touch this as well, but for your reference I was just showing you. And then I also explained about slash home. Right now this is the home of my so I have copied the Terraform files to create this VM here, and I initiated the commit. So that's how it works. And the other one will be slash user. So okay, I think let's go back. Slash hyphen user. Yep. So if you see here, it has everything. These are like read-only data. You can't add anything that can be shared among multiple users. It includes a variety of system resources as I explained before, like such as binaries. If you see here, games, src source code, sbin, and share and, and something like that. So let's go back. I think I have explained everything, but let's go to sbin first. So as I explained, sbin, this is something similar to bin. Okay, let's go back to bin first. So bin is like these are the essential executable programs that needs to be available to all users. Like I explained, vi, see here, vi, vim. So these are like normal programs which are needed for operating inside the Linux server. So you want to write something, the Python, and also it's login, PHP, yeah, most Java, and similar to C here, Java, and unzip, zip, or like we have commands for unzip and zip, something like that, yeah. And let's go back to sbin. So this I forgot to, so cd is nothing but change directory, and dot dot slash would take you to the previous go back to one more folder back. So if you do pwd, you can see it went to the present directory, like the root. So let's go to, and now go to slash sbin. So now you can see here in slash sbin, this is similar to bin as explained, but contains binary files that are usually run by administrators, like I told you, IP6 tables. These are like multiple, we'll have a lot of things internally, but these are only used by like bridge network, use bridge, and IP6 tables is something related to network. Ifconfig is, if you do ifconfig, it kind of show you uh, what are present in this here, something like IP address. This is the IP address of the server. If you see this one, this is the Docker IP address. I think Docker is already installed in here. Oh, actually in my script I have added Docker to be installed, so that's why it's showing up the Docker network as well. Let me go back. Yeah, see here, I installed Docker, so that's why it's showing the Docker. You can ignore that. Yeah, I have explained. And the last thing would be slash root. So this is the user, similar user for slash root, actually not the main root. This is the administrator root. So whenever they, and I forgot to explain you, if you do id, it will show you your as user id. If you want to switch to root, you will have the permissions. Sudo su dash would be to take you directly to root. If you see it, you will be administrator. If you want to come back, you can do exit. And one more thing, we have cron tab. So cron tab hyphen l is cron tab list. Cron tab is some, there are no cron tabs right now, but cron tab is something where you want to schedule a command or a script to run at particular time. You can come here and add an entry with a script or command. It's gonna show you, we can also have add as an output as well. So yeah, so that's what it is. We'll have a separate daemon running for that, so that's not part of our but today's tutorial. But let's go back. Okay, I think it got stuck. Okay, so that's cron tab, and let's talk about other parts. I think I have explained most of the parts, so let's do the I'll talk about hardware information you need to know before for any DevOps person. So if you do DMESG, okay, I think you need to go back to root. So now do DSEM DMESG. So it's what it's going to show you is with this command, this will displace the message from kernel ring buffer, a great utility to troubleshoot booting and hardware related issues. So this is the command, most useful command when you try to find out what's going on, what's wrong going on with your environment. You can simply go and look around. And there is one more important command. I think cat proc. I think I didn't explain, but proc is like proc directory is like a building control room where you can monitor and control the building systems. You can think of that something like that. So we have cat. We're doing cat proc and CPU info. So this is the main command. So I think you'll be able to understand what's there in your Linux box using this command. So this is like hardware command you need to know. If someone asks you to get the CPU info, this is where you need to come. So it will explain everything related to um, the CPU family. I think the most related part would be, I think, how many CPUs are present in here. There are CPU cores are 2, and cache size, and we also have memory. Okay, for memory we can do simple command free hyphen m. It will show you the memory, total memory, used memory, and free memory. This is in MBs. We can convert it to gigabytes if you want. And then the next command would be lshw. I think it should list out the things, but let's not go there. Let's Oh yeah, this is the one. So lsplk lists out the block, all the block devices such as hardware drive and partitions and their size. Like if you know, if you are familiar with Windows, you will have a similar partitions for every Windows system. So this is the command where you find out what part. For this is related to hardware system. I think there is one more file. Come on, I forgot. Uh, yeah, this is what this runs a actually a disk check on a unmounted disk or partition. If you want to kind of check any disk for uh, any partition which was not there, you can try to run this command. You will be able to find it out. Yeah, now let's go back and search. The next part would be searching. Right now I explained about hardware, searching hardware information. Let's talk about searching. Like if you go back, so this is something like, yeah, we have a file here. So if you want to grab this, if you want to read this, I showed you cat, which will show you everything, right? If you remember, if you do this, it will show you everything present in the file. But if you want to only grep only particular pattern, you can do grep. And then let's talk about what pattern we will see. We'll see Google Cloud. Okay, this is the pattern I want to check, and the file name, and it's going to show the exact details what it is here. So see here the line, it's showing the line. And we can also do grep hyphen recursive and then pattern, the same pattern. Let me show you what it does. Yeah, I think it's actually we don't have anything other than this, so that's why it's not showing up. So that's okay, ignore. So and the other would be, I think, let's go back. Just to have, okay, so we are here. We came to our file systems again. So if you want to locate something, okay, I will add something here. If you want to add something, you can do touch. Touch is something we are touching some file, and give like file dot text, right? And give chmod plus x and file dot text. What this command does is it will give the permissions for the command for the file, but this is not needed. I'm just trying to explain you. Let's go back. Now I'm searching for so I'm trying to locate locate is a command where we'll search for a name. So what I created, just I forgot. Yeah, file.txt, right? So file.txt, we are not in the directory right now. So if you have multiple files in the directory, you can use locate, but right now there is nothing. We can say locate, locate, and we'll see m and hyphen. So there is no files actually, but yeah, so this is like directories and files inside the directory. But if you want to find something, we have find command as well. What this does, it will try to find if you provide the location like we created slash hyphen and what is the file name, file.txt, right? File.txt, and give a name. We'll just home right now, and we'll just give you a name. So let's say file, there are nothing, and let's do file.txt. See, so we are not in the same directory. We are one directory ahead of that, and we are trying to use find command to locate whatever present inside here. And there is one more command which is very useful for you. Let me get Btop invalid. Oh, let's say okay, let's do this. Sudo apt install Btop. Okay, so this is the command unable to locate Btop. Okay, let's do Btop. Okay, so this is the command. So if you want to if you are not in the root, the sudo is something which will give you root access. So if you usually, if you normally run this command, it will say permission denied. To give the command to root access, you will add sudo. It's like in Windows you have run as an administrator, remember? It's similar to that. And next, so we have installed a, right now I have used this command and installed a tool called htop. So before htop, I'll show you something like top. So it's gonna show you what processes are running in a normal way, in a command line way. If you see here, nothing is cool. It's like going back and forth, and you can't clearly find out what's going on. So it's, see, if you want to see bash, it's, if you want to go to find, it's going back. So that's why I have added a one htop. It should be very useful for you. Personally, I use a lot. Okay, I think let me maximize it. I think it went. Okay, so this is the where it comes up. So it's very easy for you to graphically, and also you'll be able to find out. There is a command called btop as well. So that's the one which I use. I don't know, for some reason it's not showing up here, but you can just control C, it will go off. And yeah, that's, and then I explained about file commands list. It will list out all the files, and if you want to do it in order, you can do ls-ltr. And if you want to find files without which are hidden, ls-la, it will show you the hidden files as well, like doc and right. Yep. And also explain, to create a directory we need to do make directory, directory and sample. And if I do ls-ltr, you will be able to see a sample. You can cd to that and do it. You are in sample right now. If you do pwd, you will be able to find out that you are in .slam. So that's it is. And I explained about touch and everything. Yeah, I have covered most of the part, and there is one more I forgot. Let's go to /home, where I have file created, right? I will move this file dot, we can do copy actually. cp is nothing but copy copy file text, and then you can go to /temp. So this particular location file in this location can be copied to /temp. If you do this, and if you go to /temp, you can see that the file is already moved to here, and if you go back and look for that file, it's still there, /home, right? Yep. And I forgot the main part. If you want to check for last time which who logged in, so if you see here, it's gonna show you this, and you can say who I am. I think you can say who. I think, yeah, who. I think it will show up who is logged into the server. And let's exit from here. Sudo. Okay, and one more thing, user uname -a. So this will show you which Linux it is actually. So I think adding the user doesn't work. I think I did something wrong. User add, I think I forgot. Yeah, user add, and just type demo. This is gonna create a user. See, okay, it says root only. If you do sudo -d, you went back to me. So if you do use sudo add user and demo, it's going to create a new user, and you can create a password, something like and retype it. Just provide a name. Just skip all this. Yes. See, you are able to create a user now. So you can add this user to a group right now. So we can do that by adding a group add, and then I think I forgot, just add group to demo. Okay, I think it has created a demo, so let's do sample. So it's created a group, so we can add this group to the demo by using user mod and do access queue -e, and this is something like a group. Now give the group name would be sample, and then we can add our user to that. We can add a user to the group, which should be demo. So that's how it is. So if you do id demo, so if you see here, uid gid groups are here, but the sample has been added to here, so the group has been added here. So that's how it is. And then you can right now we can delete by using user delete simple command, and you can provide the username as demo. It will, if you do demo, it doesn't have anything. We can do okay, that's done with the user and part. Let's go with apt is something like a package manager, and we have m as well for debian, and apt for ubuntu, you can think of it as. So right now if you want to install anything packages here, so let's install something useful. Install TMax. So TMax is nothing but it's a we can use TMax to let me show you TMax. This is TMax. Okay, one second. Okay, if you see here, I can operate in multiple tabs using TMax. I installed TMax in here. It's basically you want to do anything, you want to look for anything here. Let's say it's setup.sh, and you want to do multiple things in like parallel. And if you want to go to some other, do like let's go to demo and look around here. So I usually use it for development, and that's how I use it. So that's very useful. Once the tmax is attached, you can do tmax attach. There are no sessions, and if you do tmax -new, you provide a name as demo. I think we'll have a tmax cheat code. I set up everything internally, so this is very useful for if you want to work in parallel devices in Linux. So this is the tmax commands, which are very useful. which I already did, but I think we need to start the TMax. I didn't start it up. There are particular setup we need to do before doing it. I'm not going to go through that, but this is also a good tool which you can use. um, yep. Yeah, and there is one more command I forgot to explain you, which would be if you use tree. I think let's install tree apt install tree. So it's going to install the tree. So that's simple it is. And do tree here. It's going to show you what in a tree file system what's under this. Let's go back to make it clear for you. And if you do tree here, it's going to show you in this way, like in a cool way. So this is also useful for when I do it, like when you work on the development part, but right now it's not needed. Okay, it's gonna go back, and the next command would be yeah, and the next command would be ulimit. I think ulimit is a good command. This is like limit system resources amounts actually. And shutdown is shutting down. It's common. You don't need to do that right now. And you can do date, time. There is called mode probe. And this is like adding a kernel model, but I'm not going to add anything, but just for information. Okay, and file systems and checking df-h. So this is a command which will show up everything on your file system actually, which in the present directory basically. And if you want to connect to any so let's if you want to test a connectivity between this server to other server, let's do telnet and google. Let's do okay, we should have telnet installed for that. Let's add get telnet. Okay, it doesn't have java, so it's needed for, or you can see nc-v www.google.com. Okay, it should have the port as well. Let's give 8. So I'm able to connect to Google host from my server. So that's how NC is network connection. You can think of it as V is purpose, and that's how it is. And if you want to copy a file from here to other file, you need to do SCP, and we need to connect to host using a particular port. We can use hyphen port and just give something like local host. And this is just for a connection, but and then yeah, I think we need to mention the user as well, like demo at the rate of localhost. That's how you connect through this. And I forgot to explain you, and yeah, I have created a sample.txt file, right? So right now, if you see, this is these are the permissions. Okay, let me show you the permissions part real quick. Linux permissions calculator. Yeah, this would be easy. Yeah, so as I explained you before, read write, right? So we have three parts everywhere. So usually if you want to have your file owned by owner, read write execute, only read I think would be 700. Okay, so if you want to only have owner, whoever owns it, so right now the root owns it. If you have the files owned by root, it will be shared, it will only shared used by root. The other persons like Chaitanya or any demo can't access it. But if you want to give access to some other person, let's the group, like if any user has been added to a group, you can give read, you can only read. If you give provide read, write, you can provide write and execute. This way 770 is something usually provide, we usually use, and I think 777 is something giving everyone as access. That's not good practice. So let's do 7 5 this is the normal this is the best practice. Like this gives read, write, and execute um, permission to owner, read, write, execute permission to owner, and read and executable permission to group and others. This is the most useful permission where used for normal environments. And we have another part like 766. I think this is essentially full permissions to owner. If you see here, this full permissions to owner and read and write to group and others, group and public. And if you want to, okay, that's how it works. So you can, I will share this calculator. It will be useful for you, useful, very useful for you. So let's go back. Uh, yeah, I think I covered pretty much everything as I said to be, and I'm going to, so this is completely deals with whatever I explained. It's basic part, and I'm going to cover most of the details in the next tutorial. But in this tutorial, that's all for today. But I have explained all the details related any DevOps engineer to need to know before going into a project. I'm going to explain in the next video. I'm going to explain about network commands, and also I'm giving explain about shell scripting or bash scripting, which should be known by everyone who is trying to go back, opt in for DevOps job. So I highly recommend you to wait for the next video. I'm going to do that in a very particular detailed way so that anyone can understand. Um, yep, so that's all for today. I hope you guys liked my video. Thank you for joining for this tutorial. We hope you find it informative and helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tutorials in DevOps and other topics. So I'm doing these free tutorials for you. So if you have any questions, you can always ask me in the comments. Thanks for watching, and happy learning. Wait for the next one, and see you on the next video. Bye.